Three,
Meeting.
two. Welcome back. Now it's time for the LGBTQ segment. Do you want to take it away, Darren?
You sound very tired. Are you okay, darling? Do you
You
need a
sound
couch to lie on?
exhausted.
You sound tired.
I
Are you
watched-
spritzing over there?
No,
What's going on?
Pee-wee will do that to you.
Pee-wee wore me out, basically.
Well,
you know?
yeah, Pee-wee can do that. Pee-wee's a very high energy character. Let's be honest.
That man doesn't ever stop.
No, it's the cocaine, I think. I'm not sure, but I think it's...
I thought it was the time with the construction workers, actually.
Well, I mean...
I don't know. They had each other.
Fruitcake! Ah! So...
Two more fruitcakes!
Hi, everybody. Happy holidays and all that rot. We're going to be talking about the best Christmas special that's ever been made and will ever be made, most likely, which is Christmas at Pee-wee's Playhouse, which is a crazy hour acid trip into Pee-wee's world. If you're familiar with him at all, the character actor Paul Reubens created this character named Pee-wee Herman, and he was very famous in the 80s. He had some movies out. He had a Saturday morning kids show. He was first, I think, on Off-Broadway with Pee-wee Playhouse as a more risque adult version as opposed to what happened on Saturday morning. You can figure that out because the jokes, they write themselves on the show.
I don't know. It's still kind of.
I know. This is one of those that the kids aren't going to get those jokes that the adults are going to get. So, yay. We love that kind of humor. And this Christmas special has everyone in it. If you ever wanted to know about the 1980s, you watch this special, you know everything you need to know about the 1980s at that point. Everybody possible is in it. In fact, the rumor is they actually did, he's got a big grand opening. He's got the singing Marines there. He's got the two backup dancers from Madonna's Vogue video singing along with him. And they're doing all this choreography and everything. And they do a roll call of guests for the show.
Yeah, that was almost the whole episode right there.
I know, right? It's a 10-minute number.
That was as long as his Christmas list.
And it turns out they left Cher off. She's not part of that number because Cher just showed up in the middle of taping and said, "Can I do something real quick?" And they gave her the word of the day bit.
Yeah.
And of course, Cher can do anything. Cher what? She's Cher. Even though she was on that bottoming off of Moonstruck and about to start selling, QVC hair care products for a hot minute, before.
Yeah, it's all right. She comes back.
She does. She's gonna live forever. We all know it. So it's basically all the Pee-wee characters, some of which are much more famous for other things that they've done now, like Esapatha Murkison has been on Law and Order for many, many seasons.
For decades.
And of course, Morpheus is Cowboy
Troy.
Cowboy
Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis. That's what it is. Right. Cowboy Curtis. He's in here. But I'm just going to go down some of the names here. King of Cartoons, William Marshall. Sci-fi fans will know him as Blackula.
Blackula. Yep.
Exactly. Let's see here. Lynn Marie Stewart played Miss Yvonne. She was a standout on the Pee-wee cast for the most part. We had Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello reprising their roles as basically 50s sweethearts who are basically in white slavery to Pee-wee during this special.
Pretty much, yes.
They're making all of his Christmas cards.
500 each.
Yeah.
Yep.
Frankie, Annette, you done? No,
I think they were in the midst of really promoting that Back to the Beach movie that came out around that time. So this is 88. This is a celebration of everything 80s, right?
Oh, totally. Charo is there, the Gucci girl from the Love Boat. Of course, Love Boat
Absolutely.
was big in the 70s and 80s. We have the Del Rubio triplets, who, if you don't know them, oh my God, get a hold of an album, find some YouTubes. The Del Rubio triplets are this wonderful guitar playing platinum blonde group of ladies who were famous for doing a acoustic guitar version of Whip It by Devo. That's how they got their fame. Yeah. And so they became kind of these really campy stars that would just show up in these odd places. And yeah, it just became crazy. Whoopi Goldberg's in here. Magic Johnson's in here. Now, I have a personal tie for my favorite gay icon in this special.
Uh-huh.
We have Grace Jones coming out of a box.
That's so
because
true.
she's being mailed to the White House and she winds up at the Playhouse instead.
Mm-hmm.
And she sings, I believe, Little Drummer Boy.
Yeah, Little Drummer Boy.
And then we have
she's
the best version of Little Drummer Boy
yes,
ever.
the best version ever.
Oh, come on. No. That's the Bowie version.
No,
that's the Bowie and Crosby version.
No,
but I swear, I thought like when she starts taking her glove, I'm like, is Grace just gonna strip to nothing on this?
Is she doing a striptease? What is she doing? And no one can stop her because she's Grace Jones.
No.
And then we get Katie Lang singing Walking Around Winter Wonderland. Every time I hear that, I sing Walking Around in women's underwear. But Katie Lang, before she was out,
before she was out.
Right before
I think her first album only came out in 87 and this came out in 88.
Judy watching, she was like,
and there you go.
Judy was watching it with me and she was just like, God, Katie Lang is so young there.
Mm-hmm.
But then a lot of them were, so.
That's true.
We get Little Richard, Joan Rivers, Dinah Shore.
Dinah Shore, man.
Dinah Shore is still singing, you know.
Million Days of Christmas.
Yeah. 25 bunches of nachos. It's like, what the heck is he doing in there? Oprah Winfrey, and this was early Oprah.
Oh, she looks really young.
She looks very young.
This is just when she first started her show, I think.
And then we have finally Zsa Zsa Gabor, Princess Zsa Zsa, you know, coming in to give everyone some class and such. Go on, Mike. What you were going to say about?
No, this is just it. Oh. Yeah, it's like a cavalcade of Love Boat stars.
Oh, totally, it is.
It's like every gay icon from the 80s. It's pretty much in here.
Pretty much, yeah. And the running joke is everyone is giving Pee-wee fruitcakes throughout the show.
Yes.
Bricks. Not what he wants on his list, and his list, of course, is 1.5 miles long, and he's got all the toys already. That's what the Playhouse is. Everyone gives him fruitcakes, and by the end, he's like, "Oh, fruitcake, yay!" Because he's been very disappointed by every fruitcake he has gotten so far. But then they're like, "What are you going to do with all those fruitcakes you've gotten, Pee-wee?" This is the gayest part of this special. Apparently, Pee-wee has built a wing onto the Playhouse made entirely of fruitcakes, and there are 2 shirtless construction workers in there building it while all this is going on. You're like, wait a minute. Where did he keep those guys the entire time this whole thing's been going on?
Yeah.
But it hits all the basic holiday tropes. There's snow, there's ice skating, there's letters to
Little
Santa.
Richard. We forgot Little Richard.
Little Richard. Oh my God. Woo! There's Santa makes an appearance, of course, is mandated by, you know, all holiday specials. Santa must show up at some point. And it's such a cute ending. I'm not going to spoil the ending because I want you to go see it. But what is hilarious is on the DVD print, the word joy is out in front of Pee-wee's house, but they cut it. So it just says J-O in the frame.
Wow.
Of course it does.
Of course
it does. And this came out for 1 year and was not seen again on TV because our friend Pee-wee had a little problem. And I don't think it's a problem at all. I'm not slut shaming at all. But he got caught doing what guys do in an adult theater back in the day. When
isn't that why you go to an adult theater?
Exactly.
I mean, that just seems so stupid to me.
You don't sit there and watch Deep Throw and go, "Oh my God, the acting." Right. That's not what's happening there. And so he was there and he was fondling himself, as we like to say. And
just think of J-O.
Yeah, just think of J-O. And he got caught, and of course, being a celebrity back then, this was huge news. Oh my God. Saturday morning.
Well, because he was a children's show, especially.
A children's show person. How dare he have sex with himself, especially in Florida? Dear God. I mean, the laws back then were not.
I mean, yeah, the state is still not over it.
No, the state's still not over it. I don't think anyone is over it, really.
No, they have a picture of him on the sign, "Welcome to Florida."
Welcome to Florida. And that kind of ended Pee-wee's career for a while. He has come back time after time. Not like Cyndi Lauper, but you know what I mean. He's more of a cult pop culture figure. He played the father of the Penguin in the Tim Burton Batman Returns.
Mm-hmm.
And he does a lot of bit stuff like that, but he still does Pee-wee on occasion. I think they revived it off Broadway several years
Yeah.
ago.
And he also did
wasn't
it.
it
He
like
also did
2010 or something like
Yeah.
that?
He also did a movie on Netflix.
Oh,
Yeah, that was 2016.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's
So
where
Pee Wee's going to keep trucking. So
oh
you
yeah.
know.
But he Paul Rubens also was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the original movie.
Yeah, the original one.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, one of the best death scenes ever.
I first saw Paul Rubens before he was Pee Wee in one of the Cheech and Chong movies. He plays they're in a mental institution. They get locked up, and he's one of the he's one of the guys in the institution, and he kind of does he kind of does that hoarse voice. So he, if I remember correctly, it's sort of like a pre-Pee Wee, like it's like but that's where I first saw him, and yeah, I've seen him. I think I know him more for his non-Pee Wee roles than I think of him more as Pee Wee. I mean, obviously you think of him as Pee Wee first, but I'll be perfectly honest with everybody out there. I am not a fan of Pee Wee Herman, the character. I am not a fan.
It's okay.
I had never seen a single one of his movies. I had never seen a single episode of the Playhouse. I had never seen. Watching this special was the most time I'd ever spent with Pee Wee Herman.
And what did you think? You're still not a fan, obviously.
It absolutely confirmed that I do not like Pee Wee Herman. But I will say, the show itself, production wise, puppetry, all the colors,
all the animation and everything,
and it does it celebrates that. I mean, we talk about Weird Al a lot on this show. Heck, we talked about him last week. And then there's that in the 80s, there's that oddball character mentality where you have Weird Al, Pee Wee Herman, Judy Tenuta, Emo Phillips. You have like all these weird type of characters coming out and making names for themselves on MTV, on television, on specials like this. It seems to represent like a Southern California thing. I think for some reason I think of Southern California when I think of all this stuff, but it does also embrace it's all about it, like love. Like I don't want to say it's all about love, like it's like some sort of thing, but it's like it's all inclusive, really. When you're watching Pee Wee's Playhouse, you feel like it's all inclusive. Like if you're like, there's nobody here that's going to be turned away.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time I ever remember seeing a holiday special that had anything about Hanukkah in it.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's that big section on Hanukkah.
That's right. There's a good 5 to 7 minute section about Hanukkah in the middle of this thing, which I thought was great. When Miss it's not Yvonne, I forget her name.
Yeah.
But she says, "Oh, I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm Jewish," and she explains it very matter of factly. That instead of 1 day, they get 7 days of gifts. Oh, and here are your 7 fruitcakes.
7 fruitcakes.
8. Sorry, 8.
That's 8. Sorry, 8.
Jewish. Hello. Come on.
I'm sorry. Well, hey,
come on.
You can correct me. It's fine.
I will. Don't worry.
I know. All the time.
Oh, yeah.
So, but without it being an openly gay special, this is the gayest Christmas special ever. Just because of the gay icon, ratio on this show.
Yeah, it's like it's as openly gay as you could be at the time.
Without saying, "Hey, we're doing a gay party," which is why when I have a Christmas party, I play this in the background, and people were like, "What is this?" And then after that opening number, they're like, they are invested in this special. They're like, "Oh my God, I have to keep watching this," and they just start. People will do games like take a shot every time they do X or whatever, and then you have a whole bunch of people who are drunk in your house and you've got to figure out how to get them out, but that's a problem for another day. But I bring this up because we've been having some problems in the community lately. We've been hit by a lot of crazy stuff. Club Q in Colorado Springs, obviously, and this past weekend there was apparently an attack in Moore, North Carolina. That
heard about that.
Now there are 40,000 people without power, and it appears to be, well, no one's saying it yet. The only thing that had changed in this town was the fact there was a drag show going on that night. Everything else was pretty normal.
I mean, it was a terrorist attack. That's what it was. Domestic terrorism.
And apparently there's a serial killer in New York going after gay men at clubs that we just discovered about. it's been a hard, and we lost Leslie Jordan the other month. So it's been a hard couple of months for your LGBTQs people. So
Yeah.
it's hard sometimes, especially if you don't have a family to go to, because your family's not accepting of you, or if you if you're single, feeling alone or whatever, you have to find the joy where you can in the holidays, because it's very easy to get into the doldrums of Christmas. It's so much pressure, gifts, all the parties you have to go to, and sometimes you're just going through the motions. You're not really happy for anybody, and this special is the way that I like to kick off my holiday season. It gets me in the mood.
Well, it's very found family. I mean,
totally. It's very found
that's
family.
what I really liked about it, is you just really feel like it's celebrating found family.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I loved about it, how diverse his family was too. It was, just not white gay guys.
Yeah. It wasn't your it wasn't your standard white sitcom cast, for sure.
Exactly. And I loved it. And I loved everyone was in different sizes and shapes too. And that's what made it even better. And everyone was accepting.
Showed up. Cher. She was there. By my chair.
Who's
I hope I didn't stare. It's like, he just improv that because she just showed up. It's like out of the blue. It's like, who did they have for Cher for the person of the day? Probably Charo, maybe, because they did that joke with her later about what does Anyo mean. Oh, it means here. I mean, that's the thing, right? Gucci, I like it. So I just think this is one of the happier Christmas specials that isn't talking down to people. It's actually educational. You can show this to little kids and they'll get a little bit of an education about Hanukkah and about the Christmas story. It's actually in there. As far as I know, it's only, it's not the whole thing, obviously.
But it's in there. But I do like the fact that the main message, and like I said, we're not going to spoil the ending or whatever, but the main message is that Christmas is not just about like getting presents for yourself.
Exactly. It's about doing for other people as much as you can, and
yes,
and giving them, whether it's monetary gifts or time, or just call someone up, phone someone who maybe you've not talked to in a while and say, hey, I was thinking about you, because they may need to have that conversation with you at that point. You never know. It's a good time to reconnect with people. It's a good time to go out and do some work, like an open hand. Put some food together for people who don't have as much as you might have. It's a time for giving of yourself, really. And that's the part about the holidays that I love so much. And it is hard. It really is hard for LGBTQ people sometimes to reconcile their lives with what mainstream religion says about us as a tribe, So it can be very challenging this time of year to go to, families where religion is a big deal, like it is in my family, and just sit there and listen to all the droning on.
It's like you have to make the decision every year. Am I going to fight back, or am I going to sit here quietly and take it?
And then
because it's just easier that way, but then I feel like crap when I leave.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just, it's supposed to be a time of celebration, and it just turns into a time of horrible stress.
Yeah, especially for us, I think, Mary. Not you and I, but LGBTQ people. I think it's very difficult. And that's why we have to find our own families. That's why we're kind of forced into that. Even if your family is a goldfish, that's your family as an LGBTQ person, and you have to maintain some relationship with yourself and the outside world and all of your cohorts that is beneficial to you. And this is a time where everyone's telling you, you should be happy, you should be happy, you should be happy. Well, what if you're not? What if you're not gay, but you're gay? What do you do?
Right.
You put on Pee-wee's Playhouse and you watch it and you laugh. And then you wash, rinse, repeat that stuff until, you get brainwashed. You start saying things like, where's Cher? Cher was right there.
But it also says, how important representation is, because to especially back in 1988, to have had something like that to watch and to feel somehow represented, like, yes, I actually exist. People see me, I exist out in the world. And my talent can be seen, and celebrated, that was, you think it's bad now.
Oh my God.
It's way worse back then, especially since we were still deep in the AIDS crisis.
Totally. Do you know who we had back then? We had Charles Nelson Riley, Paul Lynde, and Waylon Flowers and Madam. That's who we had.
Yeah.
That was it. So if you weren't watching game shows, you didn't get any gay content, really.
No,
that was
really
it.
didn't.
That was it. No one knew what a lesbian was until Oprah had them on TV once, and then the dam burst at that point, or maybe Donahue. I think I remember watching an episode of Donahue where they had two bodybuilders on there who were going to marry each other because they were actually bodybuilders / exotic dancers, and they were just turned off by women at this point. So maybe they worked too much. Maybe that was the problem. I don't know. Who knows? But this was just a crazy thing. I wanted to do something light and peppy for the holidays, since this was the next time we were going to be talking, and I wanted it to be fun. I wanted us to celebrate the holidays in a good way, even though there's a lot of crap going on. You still have to like find your spirit within, and I think this special does it without talking down to people, without making anyone feel excluded, and it does it in a LGBTQ affirming way, because it is a mixed found family in this show.
Yeah, I also really like the fact that you said find the spirit and everything, and it's like, I think a lot of times, even as adults too, we get like caught up in like there's so much to do. We have to do shopping, we have to do cards, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to do that, and we look at them as chores. Whereas I think the enthusiasm behind like a lot of the things that happen around this time is infectious in the special. Like when it snows, they're all like, woohoo! Or like even like answering the door, getting mail, getting a package. Like it's all really exciting and really fun stuff, which we can get like totally bogged down by and forget this time of year.
Oh, totally. I got an Amazon package today. It was like, woohoo, look at that. Yay.
Somebody loves me. But then you realize you sent it to yourself, Oh, yeah.
But no, I just felt like this was the one thing. If it was a Christmas special, and you guys told me December, Pee-wee's Christmas special is the one that we're going to do, because it is the gayest Christmas special out there, without
a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, by a far second place, maybe.
So I haven't seen, like I said, I haven't seen any of the movies. I didn't watch any of the other Playhouse episodes or whatever. Is that theme present throughout all of like the Pee-wee stuff?
I think it pretty much is, but I don't think it is as exaggerated as it is in the special. No. It is very much Pee-wee gets into shenanigans, and then he gets out of shenanigans in 22 minutes, because it's a Saturday morning 30-minute show. I think in the plays that he does, there's a lot of improv, but there's also a lot of, we're going from point A to point B tonight. How we get there is up to us, and then he's got his usual cast of characters like Miss Yvonne and John B. the Genie and things like that, where craziness ensues because Pee-wee lives in a land that is not ours. He lives in his own world, which is that Dorothy Gale thing, right? That's that Wizard of Oz magic of, oh my God, his world is so fantabulous, I want to live there as opposed to where I live in Ohio or Utah or wherever, right? Or Georgia, wherever. It's just more fabulous, and that makes it better. I've been in some drag queen homes that look like his Playhouse. Not kidding.
I could see it.
Yep. I mean, it definitely reminds me of a lot of the kids shows I watched like when I was really young, and even of course the big one, which of course is Mr. Rogers. And there's like some of the things that Mr. Rogers did for the time were pretty like all inclusive as well. And this just looks like it's like sort of Mr. Rogers on acid, right?
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
Gay, yeah.
Or was
Lady
he?
Elaine maybe was a little diva, but that's about it, I think. But
I was always worried about King Faraday, but that's a whole different story.
The king. Never trust a man in a golden crown. Never do that. Never do that. But yeah, I never got into Pee-wee on the show. I actually saw this special for the first time when I was in my 30s. I'm like, where did this come from? And why have I never seen this before? And I sat there mesmerized by it going, what the hell? Who greenlit this? When did this happen? I had to investigate everything about it. And it turned out, yeah, it was because Pee-wee was such a popular character. CBS gave him a nighttime slot for the special.
Yeah, I am actually kind of amazed that this got aired on network TV back in 1988.
I know. I think it's because
there's a lot of subtext here.
There is. I think they improv a lot of it. Like when Flory says to Ms. Yvonne, "Hey, Ms. Yvonne, come stand by me," and she's wearing a skirt.
Come stand over me.
Me, whatever. It's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. The adults get that. The kids have no clue. So it's like, oh, the Floor's talking to Ms. Yvonne. That's cute. The adults are like, Flory's a perv. Look at that. So it's just one of those very, very, and I apologize that I'm rambling because it really is an acid trip. You have to experience it for yourself. You really do. There's no way to explain how a show with Dinah Shore, Cher, Charo, and Annette Funicello works, but it does. The casting was off the chain. Zsa Zsa performs with a Muppet-like cow named Countess.
And her little gland.
I thought Zsa Zsa would hit someone when they called her a cow or something, but apparently she was fine being equated with one. So that she must need the money that month. Buy some more diamonds. Who knows? But
hey, it's a paycheck.
It's a paycheck. It keeps that actor's equity insurance going. Yay!
Wait. Was she I kept thinking like, okay, I get confused because I think maybe it was her sister. Was it her or sister that was on Green Acres?
Ava was on Green Acres, the sister.
Right, because I kind of got that Green Acres. I got a Green Acres vibe from that scene, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun.
Zsa Zsa was more Paris Hilton before Paris Hilton.
Yeah, she's very Paris Hilton. Yeah. Like proto Paris Hilton.
Totally. Yeah. Paris Hilton took what she did and just went
right
1,000 times with it, basically. So it's like it's been done before, kids. It's been done before. But yeah, I just thought this was a fun little thing to do for the holidays. Go watch it. It's available on DVD. It's probably available somewhere streaming, isn't it? Am I wrong?
It on iTunes.
iTunes.
Yeah. Apple TV, iTunes.
Apple TV.
Yeah, we still had to pay $2.99 for it.
But
it's worth it. It's worth it.
$3 for 40 minutes of entertainment. It's cheaper than going to a movie any day of the week. So
I was actually amazed how many people were in this with it only being 40 minutes.
Yeah, how did you squeeze all those people in here? Holy crap.
Yeah, exactly. They're just one after another.
Yeah, even a very young Whoopi Goldberg, wanting to be on the special.
This is Whoopi Goldberg back in her Jumpin' Jack Flash days. I mean, this was Whoopi with dreads is what this was.
Oh, yeah, big time. And it was awesome. It was awesome to see everybody and literally every scene. And it was just like when Cowboy Curtis, and I was like, Judy, do you know who that is? And she was like, I think so. And I said, and I told her, it was like, it's Neo. It's like, Morpheus from Matrix. And she was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like, so Pee-wee took the red pill? Is that what happened here? Is that what's going on?
That would explain a lot, actually.
It explains a lot of it. Cowboy Curtis and those fabulous lavender, chaps of his.
and those sideburns, dude. Those
sideburns were epic. They were epic. Little Richard attempting to ice skate. It will never not be funny to me. Never not be funny.
And I loved how they had with Pee-wee ice skating and then showing that there was a double.
Yeah. Thank you, Hans. Thank you, Hans.
Thank you, Hans.
I have expected that to be Brian Boitano.
I was expecting that also. What would Brian Boitano do?
I was like, wow, that's the only thing that's missing from this special. That should have been Brian Boitano.
They probably tried to get Dorothy Hamill. They probably did try to get her. I would not be surprised.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Like, you've got a day to drive down here. We're doing this in one day. We're filming this in a day. Get here. It probably took about 3 days to film, but dear Lord.
We know where they all stayed.
Yeah, we do. That's hilarious.
It's at the end. It was like, guests stay at it was like a game show or something. And it was basically
stay
at this hotel. And I'm like going, oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure Princess Zsa Zsa was like, no, darling, you will put me up in a hotel. I'm not driving to Burbank and leaving. No.
I'm like, I don't think Cher's staying there.
No, Cher went back to Malibu, baby. Yeah. She had to turn back time and another boyfriend. God love her. Bless her heart. Wow. So that's it. I mean, it's a short, it's not like we're talking about a 2-hour movie here. It's a short piece.
Yeah.
You can fit this in, sit the family down, feed them food, put them in front of the TV and put this bad boy on, and no one will be talking about anything political because they will be so like, what the hell is this shit?
Sitting there with their mouths open.
Like, what
is this? Is this pre-HIV Magic Johnson?
This was 88.
Oh yeah,
it's pre-HIV Magic Johnson. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
I think he came out in the 90s at some point with that diagnosis. I believe in the 2000s.
I thought it was earlier than.
Yeah, it was earlier than the 2000s.
Yeah, it was in the 90s. I think
I'll do it.
It was in the 90s.
No, it wasn't right away.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, and it was him in the sleigh ride with Pee Wee.
1991.
Okay,
Yeah,
so 3 years away from it. Yeah,
3 years after this.
Yep. So
yes, indeedy.
So it's interesting, and I enjoyed it. It was fun, and it gave me quite a few laughs.
Yeah, it's more fun with liquor.
Yeah,
I'll agree.
Well, yes. Well, the first time I enjoyed it was actually at your Christmas party, dude.
My infamous Christmas parties. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
At your loft.
Not having one this year. I'm still unpacking everything. So. But yeah, that party tends to it's good background music. It's Christmas music. People are like, Katie Lang. I'm like, yeah, when she was straight.
She was never straight.
I know, but she was straight presenting as far as we all knew.
Yeah, she was never straight presenting either, unless she was blind.
I don't. There's nothing straight about her performance.
She was tromping around on that stage like we were very proud of her on a motorcycle that day. So. But Grace Jones, I mean, come on. How can you not have Grace Jones in a Christmas special?
And I would have loved to. I would have loved to seen her show up at Ronnie's White House at that time.
Oh, don't you know?
That would have been awesome.
It was probably diverted on purpose.
Yeah, probably. That's why she was in a crate. Oh, it's a black woman. No, we can't have this. No. No. Send her to the Playhouse, please. I'd take Grace Jones over any Republican right now.
Oh my God, yes. That's not even a contest.
No, not even close to a contest.
It was interesting, and you know what? It was fun. And folks, if you do get a chance to do it, like Darren said, grab a nice adult beverage and
yes, pie. I recommend pie.
Well, yes.
It only gets better the more you drink.
It's true.
Yes. You'll notice more details too. That's the problem.
You'll notice all the props in the background. Like, what is that on the back of that? Oh my God! You're like, yeah, that's what's back there. There are some dolls and some interesting poses in the background. I'm not gonna point them out, but yeah, that's for you to discover, folks. Have fun.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is. It's like one of those pictures that's really bad and it gets worse the more you stare at it. Yeah, it's one of those. But this is in a fun way.
Very much so. Very much so. Well, Darren, I appreciate you giving this to us to watch.
Anytime you can get a gift from me, it's non-returnable. Sorry, it was on sale.
Well, at least you didn't give me 8 of them. No,
I did not give you 8. Pee Wee's Playhouse. Although I should find that copy of that dinosaur song and just send it to you on repeat.
No. No, 100 Day of Christmas. Oh God!
Yeah. I'm sure she's still going now. I'm sure she's still going. Nothing slowed Dinah Shore down. She did golfing tournaments. She did a daytime TV show. She sang for Merv Griffin. She was doing everything back then.
That was like the premier lesbian thing to go to in the 80s in Palm Springs.
Yeah, the Dinah Shore Golf Classic. And I'm like, Mommy, why do all the girls look like Dad? Well, son.
I love how in the second Austin Powers movie where they made fun of this, we will call her Unibrow.
Indeed. Well, thanks everybody. I hope you have a happy holiday, whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate, even if you choose not to celebrate. You can go out, have some fun, find a bar, find a friend, watch some movies. Even Die Hard. It's fine. It's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
I'm on that side of that argument for sure.
Well, we talked about that on the gift guide the other week.
And have a fabulous holiday.
Absolutely fabulous.
Exactly. Very much so, everybody. Thank you guys for listening. Let's take a quick break and we will be back. And you know what? Let's close up the show. We'll give you a short one this week. Why the heck not?